Okay, so this is me taking you through how to do your raw data for your IA. This is an example of a student that was looking at the effect of temperature on temperature on vitamin C, and he was using iodine to measure the amount of vitamin C. So this was a titration. So first off, we're going to take a little look at this data. I've adjusted it so it's not actually the original student's data. And we're going to look at what you need to do in order to get maximum amount of marks for raw data. So starting off, you guys might well be able to spot that we are missing units. So let's stick those in. Here, if I select the 3, you can use Control-Shift-F, or you can go to this button here and you will get superscript. And you go and you can put that so it appears as superscript here. What we are also missing is we're missing our uncertainties. And we need our uncertainties to know how many decimal places. You might have spotted the decimal places were not consistent, but until we do our uncertainties, we're not going to know what are the correct number of decimal places. Now, there's something else you might have noticed, and I'm going to give you a moment to think about this. Remember, it was a titration. This is not actually the raw data. Before I go any further, I'm going to switch to this. This is the raw data, because for titration you always need an initial and a final reading. Okay, so here, temperature, let's see, volume, centimeters cubed. I'll go back and put the superscript in a moment. Now, these uncertainties for a burette, the uncertainty is 0.05 cubic centimeters. So to do that, you need to go to Insert, Symbol, and at the you should be at the top. You'll find you're in Basic Latin. If you just scroll down a little bit, you'll find it's here directly under C. I've inserted it twice there on that. So this is going to be 0.05 centimeters cubed. Okay, I'm now going to come in and Control-Shift-F. Actually, I wonder if I can do 2 at once. No. Control-Shift-F, superscript. Okay. And this is wide, but I'll show you why that's wide in a little bit. Okay, temperature. I'm going to wrap the text, and then I think I've still got, we go plus or minus, and that is 0.5. Notice that for measurement uncertainties you need a unit, so that's 0.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, give you a moment to have a little look at that. Remember that for analog instruments, which in this case both of them were analog, it's half the smallest reading, so the thermometer was accurate to the nearest, was showing the nearest degree. You can either measure on the line or between the line, and that's true for the iodine solution as well for the burette. Okay, so now I have my uncertainties. I now know with my data how many decimal places they should go to. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make all of my data a number by doing this. Okay, because sometimes this doesn't work if the system doesn't recognize you've typed a number. And these ones should be correct to the nearest 0.5 degrees, so I'm going to need to reduce the number of decimal places to 1. So up here you can increase or decrease. So here if I wanted to decrease them all, increase them all. Okay, so this is now correct. This is the correct set of raw data for a titration. You might want to just make the boxes large enough that they look a little bit tidy. What I've done with these is I've merged and centered. So here where I want this to go over 2 boxes, I use merge and center. Okay, if you want text to wrap, so that means that it doesn't kind of go out, so it's all visible. Wrap text is the way to do it. Okay, right, so here I'm just going to take off. I'm going to have our first set of process data, okay, which is when first with a titration, first set of process data is working out the titer. So I'm just going to cut and paste the temperature column because that doesn't change. I'm going to change all of these to numbers as well, a little ahead of time. Okay, so to work out the titer, we can use this to do a calculation. If you haven't just written all of your initials at 0, I rather suspect some of you are not exactly on 0 every single time. So we're going to put equals to show the computer that to show Excel that we're doing a calculation, and the calculation is final minus initial. There we go. And then I want to do the same for all of these 5 going down, so just select it, grab the little box, drag it down, it will repeat the calculation. Now I can't drag sideways because what that would do would be this column D minus C, because it just transposes one to the right, and we've got an extra column there. So instead, so I'm going to do the same again, equals this minus this, and then equals this minus this, and let's press return to calculate. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to move across and just focus on this now. So my iodine solution titer, we're missing our units, and again we need to put our uncertainty. Once you've used it once, it'll just appear there in your most recent. Now, where we have done addition or a subtraction, the uncertainties are added. So what we did was initial plus or minus 0.5. Sorry, final plus or minus 0.5 minus initial, so that was a subtraction. We're going to add the 2 uncertainties, one for the final, one for the initial. Okay, so that gives us an uncertainty of 0.1 centimeters cubed. And just going to put the superscript in there. Okay, so these are all correct to the nearest 0.1 centimeter cubed, which means that I need to take a decimal place off. Okay, so here I'm going to do an average, so type equals, again that tells us that it's going to be a calculation. The first average mean is just average, and then we're going to select the 3 that we want to average, close brackets. Okay, and again I can get that to repeat by doing this. Okay, I'm just going to tidy that up. I'm going to merge and center that, and I'm going to put a box around everything. Okay, oh, that needs merging and centering as well. There we go. Okay, nice and tidy. So this would be your first set of process data, strictly speaking. My average also almost clicked up there. Has to be, my average cannot be more precise than my original data. There we go. So that's how to do your raw data. I'll do another video later on what to do next after that.